guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'll be doing a story time about what happened to me about 4 years ago. So let's just get straight into it. So about 4 years ago, when I was at the beginning of year 12, I was diagnosed not diagnosed, I went to the doctor and they found I had an ovarian cyst. So yeah, this is more of a story about me having a cyst. So yeah. And I'll tell you like the whole story of like from before to after and now and then now, like the outcome for now. So that summer I was with my sisters at the beach and yeah, I was at the beach with my sisters and I was lying down, and as usual when you lie down your whole stomach goes in, but at the stomach did go in, but the very bottom of my stomach, it was still staying up and it looked really weird. So my sisters told me to go tell my mum to take me to the doctor. And the next month I had a doctor's appointment. So yeah, it took a while for my mum to make me an appointment, as I was in year 12 at that time. So, pardon me. So yeah, I'm trying to tell you guys the story without being blocked out of my memory. So anyway, that day, it was a Tuesday. I remember it was a Tuesday because I had school, and I woke up at about 5 in the morning because I needed to go to the toilet. And I know this is like TMI kind of right now. So I went to the toilet, and usually it doesn't hurt when I pee, but at that time it did hurt when I peed. And afterwards, when I went back to my bed, I was in so much pain, like severe pain. I tried calling for my dad, but he didn't hear me, and I tried lying back down, but it hurt. But for some reason I eventually fell asleep. Don't know how I fell asleep. And I woke up probably an hour later, because that's the time I had to wake up so I could start getting ready for school, as I was taking the bus to school. So that same day I had a doctor's appointment after school. So yeah, but because of how much pain I was in, I told my mum that I was in a lot of pain, like it was hurting, and let's just say it was quite early for my period to come. So yeah, so my mum called the doctor and changed the doctor's appointment from that afternoon to that morning, like straight away that morning. So I got changed out of my pyjamas, got comfortable, and my mum took me to the doctor. And at that time it was my family doctor, like me and my parents would always go to him. And when we got there, I told him what happened, and he, as usual, doctors would have you lie down on their bed and he'd press into my stomach, like into my lower stomach, to feel around. And at that time it wasn't hurting for some reason, when it was hurting badly in the morning. So straight after my doctor's appointment, my GP made, which is like my general practitioner, can't even say the word properly. Oh. Yeah, my doctor made an appointment for me for an ultrasound at the hospital near me, like close to my home. And so the whole day between that morning and the time for my ultrasound, I had to be drinking 10 glasses of water, and let's just say it's a pain in the ass when you have to do that. So I drank all the water. Anyway, me and my mum went to the ultrasound place, like the radiology department, and they took me to the, like, I told them that they have an appointment, and I waited in the waiting room. I don't think I was waiting long. Wow, this is like a full-on story of how I found out I had an ovarian cyst. But anyway, let's get back into it. The doctor, like the examiner, she took me in. I remember it was a girl. She took me to one of the ultrasound rooms, and obviously because I was under 18, my mum came in with me, and I was lying down. They put the gel on my tummy, and the nurse, she put, like, you guys know how it is, like that thing that they put on your tummy to see when you have an ultrasound when you're pregnant, like when the girl's pregnant, and so forth and so forth. Oh my god, my jaw. Anyway, I'm so cutting that out. Anyway, so yeah, and they saw a big black thing on my ovary, and it was quite big. It was quite big. Like in the picture, it was like really big. It was like this big in the picture. So yeah, it was like that big. I wish I had photos to show you guys, but yeah. When they saw that, they noticed that it was an ovarian cyst. And at that time it was 17 centimeters in diameter, and to this day still have no idea how I got it, or why I got it, or how long I've had it in me. Anyway, that whole day was between doctors and hospital, doctor, hospital. The whole day was like that. So that afternoon, I went straight back to the doctor, like my GP, and he looked at the scans and saw that it was a cyst as well. So he was calling someone, I forgot who he called, and was telling them about it. I think he called like the hospital or something. Anyway, that afternoon, like after the doctor, after that evening, I had to go to the emergency room. For some reason, I have no idea why I had to go to the emergency and not just the main part of the hospital. So yeah, and I was waiting forever in the waiting room, and then afterwards, they took me into one of the rooms, like, and that time my older sister was with me, my parents there, and she didn't really do anything. Yeah, the nurse they were taking so long. We were there till like probably 9 p.m. And this is still the same day, so you guys can probably figure out how tired I was. And so that afternoon, so that same appointment, we had to, like, the nurse had to draw blood, and because I'm a righty, so this is my dominant hand, this is my non-dominant hand, the nurse had to take blood from here, from this arm. And as she did that, I was looking away because, firstly, I hate needles, and secondly, I don't do blood. I have a weak stomach, so I do not do blood. Anyway, the nurse was drawing blood, and he happened to hit the vein that she was taking out. He bursted, I don't know how, and there was like crap ton of blood that came out of my arm. And I looked and went, like, I felt nauseous. But like, I didn't faint because even though I was lying down on the bed. Anyway, the nurse took the thing and she told me to pee in the cup, which I didn't want to pee in the cup because I do not like peeing in cups. It's not natural, especially for girls. Anyway, yeah, and like, if I was in pain at the same time, I would have probably been taken straight away to the hospital, like my local hospital, and the one that's like quite far. Because if you live in Melbourne, you know that there's two Monash hospitals. That's in the southeast suburbs that I know of. The Clayton Hospital and the Moorabbin Hospital. That evening I was in Clayton, and if I was in a lot of pain, they would have transferred me to the Moorabbin Hospital. Because that's where I was born as well. So yeah, after a few weeks, I got a call from the hospital because I was on a little bit of a waiting list, because like the gynecologist I think had to see my scans and all that. So yeah, and like the surgeon and all that, blah 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 blah. Anyway, the day I had the surgery was quite a bit of a blur. Cause I remember I had to wake up early because I had to be at the hospital by 11, because that's when my surgery was. I think it was 11 a.m. Don't remember exactly. Oh, I'm so tired. So yeah, me and my mum went to the hospital together. Like, she took me, so because no one would be apart from my mum, like away from my mum, because that's just scary for someone at 17. And yeah, that morning, oh my god, okay, this is more TMI. So just to warn you guys, this video is a crap ton of TMI if you've made it this far. So yeah, the nurse did, like, my mum had to put a laxative up my butt, like literally it's like a squeezable one, so you stick up the anus and you squish it, and that hurt like a bitch. Like, it hurt so bad. So yeah, and after a while I got changed, and like my mum packed my stuff, like my iPad, my DS, because at that time I had Nintendo DS as well, and my pajamas, and like underwear and all that. So yeah, when we got to the hospital, they took me to the like area where I had to get changed into the hospital gown. So yeah, and just to tell you guys, that same day I had surgery when my period finished for that month. So that was very lucky. So there was no worry about another ovary being released, because that ovary had just left. Anyway, so yeah, I remember not my surgeon, one of the nurses that was assisting the surgeon was Greek. He was from Crete, just like my dad's side of the family. And yeah, it was really cool. It was scary because that night before I had a massive panic attack, thinking I was going to wake up, since it was the first time I was going under, like I was being put to sleep. So yeah, I remember, like, they gave me the gas to breathe in. After probably like after 3 seconds, I was out like a light. And when I woke up, oh my god, when I woke up I was in so much pain. I was in a crap ton of pain. And just to tell you guys, before I had the surgery that same day, the nurses said that when I wake up they'd bring my mum in. They never did that, and I was asking for her. I was going, I want my mum, and I was crying, and it didn't help that I had stitches, and that hurt like a bitch. So I was crying and hurting at the same time. So they gave me morphine to take, like by the month, we'd go into the IV and into my system. Yeah, it was this end. It was this end, the right hand, I think, IV. Don't remember exactly. Anyway, yeah, and the nurses were very nice, that's for sure. The nurses at Moorabbin Hospital were very nice. So yeah, they had everything done. After I was like drowsy from morphine, I was like, taking morphine is the same as being high, like on drugs. That's what it feels like. if you've never taken drugs. If you've taken morphine, that's how it feels being high. Even though I've never taken proper drugs like weed or heroin or crap, that shit. Anyway, they took me to my room, even though it wasn't a private room. I wish it was. But the lucky thing was that where my bed was is exactly where the toilet was, which is very lucky. I remember that day I was in and out of it. I was like, I was like very out of it, like very drowsy. So yeah, I remember my mum was trying to force feed me jelly, and I did not want it. I remember my older sister being there and my second older sister being there. I remember seeing my dad and saying daddy. Don't know why I said daddy. I remember that. But yeah, I was meant to be in the hospital for 5 days, like through the weekend. And okay, so the surgery was on a Wednesday, and I was meant to be out of hospital on the Monday after. But because I got up from bed straight away the day after to go pee, like the next day after surgery, to go to the toilet, they sent me home like on the third day, so on the Friday. So I was meant to go home on the next day, but then the surgeon never came and saw me, so I stayed an extra day, like an extra night, just in case. So yeah, and to tell you guys, after the surgery, the surgeon came and saw me and told me that it was 22 centimeters in diameter. So how big is 22? It was quite big. It was like filling up like the whole bottom half of my belly. So you can imagine how freaky it was having something that big of a tumor in your on your ovary. And just to tell you guys, that was borderline. Like, if I left it any longer, it would probably have become cancer. So I got lucky that I got it out before it either ruptured or it became actual cancer. And now to this day I've been having checkups, so I've been seeing my gynecologist and I've been having ultrasounds, and because of that surgery, I have to be on birth control. I have to be on it not only to regulate my period, but so another cyst doesn't grow. And another thing that I didn't mention, they had to take my left ovary with the cyst. So yeah, I've only got one ovary now. So you can imagine how freaky it is having to have one ovary and having like not really abnormal thing, but not normal. Even though a lot of girls are born with only one ovary. Oh, I can't make up my mind with my hair. Anyway, yeah, that's my story time of how I had an ovarian cyst at the age of 17. Hope you guys liked the video. Subscribe, comment down below on what kind of video you guys want to see next. Like this video, share it with all your friends and family. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!